lay it along the fence, just like you would do with Clyde's rider poles. Same idea, right along, covers the whole fence. And on the wire today, long wire, which is like a horizontal strip. It's just what it looks like. Back to you, Rob.
Charlie Mike Echo.
Wait, aye, that might have been Mike. I'm not sure. Is that you, Mike?
Yeah, Roger, just to let you know I'm here.
Oh, aye, hello, Mike. Aye. That's Mike up the road to us, Aye, no, I didn't think it was my brother-in-law. He's coming out, we're going to be dismantling iron and bulldozing and all that, but he said he'd booting after me. But I think it was the bucket, man. It's the time for the blue buckets. Okay, we get blue buckets and black buckets, and the one, so it's a month since I've been, because there was snow the last day and they didn't turn up a fortnight ago, so I'm hoping that's them. I think it was. I can't quite see. Anyway, I'll back to you, Ray, and then you can bring Mike in. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, okay. This is GM0KT for ID. And good afternoon to Mike, GM0CME. It's M0 EDI, all in the one group. So, yeah, receiving you both well. As I say, I'm on the horizontal wire, which is great for short distance. Just near field, you could say, inter GM, all that sort of stuff. And it's a rare day. It's 15 actually in the sun. I've got an outdoor sensor, and it's not actually in the sun, so it's not actually getting heated as such. So it's a fair day, as I say. On the ICOM 7610 today, 100 watts on the peak, and using the ICM microphone, which I think is probably the best you'll get for an ICOM, with the bandwidth, etc., etc. Over to you, Mike. GM0CME from GM0KET in the group.
Hello, Ray and Robbie, GM0CME. Good to hear you, and just turning RF gain down. I was just a little bit higher up the band, and I was saving some settings, and I could see on my scope that there was some strong signals just a little bit left of me. So I've tuned in, but good to hear you both. You're both coming through very strong, sort of 15-20 over for you, Ray, and you're exceeding 20 over, Robbie, so coming through very well. Now, I spent a little bit of time, I've been fiddling with my audio again. I'm on the 890 with the MD100, but I have adjusted the settings. I've saved them all, but I spent some time with the dummy loading a little bit earlier, Ray. So any comments you've got, I'll be welcome. You two as well. Lovely sunny day, pleased to report. So let's hope it continues that way. Your 7610 sounds great. Over to you, Robbie, GM0CME.
No worries, Mike. I'm not sure it's different to what you heard the last day with folks. It's okay to me, it's pretty powerful. You're base 15 and 20 over to me. It's clouding over, that black clouds are gathering. I think there's rain coming. There's a wee dot of rain forecast for the afternoon, but I'm supposed to be on demolition duty. But if it rains, I'll escape that maybe. Well, I'm back on the 8M12, I think they call it. I was on with my pal Charlie last night, Mike. And we couldn't see a lot of difference between the two mics anyway. We settled on nothing. So I'll stick with that old 8M12. So, on to you, Ray. Your 7610 sounds fabulous. What more can I say? Go ahead, Ray.
Pleasure. Cheers, guys. Well, the thing is, there's not a great deal you can do with these radios unless you start interfacing them with your racking gear. And it's the old scenario of trying to squeeze a quart into a pint sort of thing. And you really need to broaden the audio, don't you? If you're going to do that, if you're going to make it sound better, you need to push the bandwidth properly. And sometimes you get these over-compressed, sound-alike stuff. I remember the early days of listening to the 1000 MPs when the very first came out. And if you weren't exactly tuned on to the exact frequency, their audio sounded dreadful. You had to get right into the hertz. It's just a pinpoint kind of... It's just the way the audio was all mixed in, you know. But once you got it back on, it was fine. And, of course, one idea I really gained for that era when the first came out, the old DSP sort of 1000 MPs, etc., was the mic, the MD200, which is not too far away with what you're using there, Mike. And I borrowed that, and I used that in the 870, and I still do now and again, and it sounds fine. And, okay, on your mic selection, Robbie, well, you do got to pick the one that suits you, haven't you? We've done many, many times. I decided this one here, the ICM from Heil, was the one for this. And there's one thing about the ICOMs, you don't need to do much with the audio really, unless you're into the high tier stuff, you know, the 7700s, 7800s, and but Robbie, your dipole's working grand, and likewise, Mike, your antenna today is working as always very good. No linear in the shag, and I don't think you're using extra power either, Robbie. And yeah, I've had my share of damages over the years. Here and in previous QTHs, it's just the part living in this latitude, mate. Unless you're pretty much here all the time, which I am now. But when you were working, you know, you could try and gauge. I think, is this thing going to be safe during the day? And I've a few times with reel up broken wire. Oh, wouldn't be the first. Through the night, tangled up in phone wires and everything. Oh, aye, done all that fun stuff, HI. Anyway, back it goes. Mike, GM0CME, GM0KT in the group.
Okay, very good indeed. There is some gentle QSB on both here, but you're both plus. But there is a little bit of gentle QSB. I've turned my RF gain down as well, just to quieten the background. How are you finding these settings that I'm using on this MD100, Ray? Go ahead.
All right, Mike. Yeah, it's just different. It's not what I'm used to you. What I'm saying is I'm not used to hearing you that way. It's nothing huge. It's not a huge shift. It's more focused on sort of mid-range. So it's got that classic mid-range punch, which would suit most people, even people that's going deaf, actually, with respect to your audio. So it's certainly not quiet, and it's not too loud, but it's slightly narrower. How could I explain this without being critical? I would say, constructively, it's more sort of a mid-range type of sound, kind of little bit high-pass clipping, a little bit of low-pass clipping. But of course, that could be something to do with the mic itself. Maybe you've got a bit clipping on the mic itself. The MD100 suits most, as you know, being a dynamic. It's a very popular mic, and I remember when I was going to wire the MD200 to the Kenwood. Oh, no. You don't want to do that. Well, I know, if you wire it up correctly, what's the problem? Yeah, and I proved it. It works, and so you just use it. So yeah, I like what I hear, Mike, but you have said you've saved various different patterns, let's call them, so you can always move around there. Go ahead.
Yeah, just very briefly, that's a slight enhancement of bass. What do you think?
It's a comfortable sound. I'm not using cans. I think if you're going to judge somebody's audio, just use the radio speaker, because unless you've got hearing issues, you don't need to wear headphones. They're slightly too good. You know, so from the overhead speaker, which I've got here, it was borrowed off. In fact, it was excess my television. It's long scrapped. I thought should be a DSP. You know, the surround speakers. Well, it's lying on its side and top the radio. It's exactly the same height as the wood. And yeah, no, that's better for me, but as we've all said many, many times, I'll never please everybody, but certainly it's an improvement on this range and this conditions. Go ahead.
Very good indeed. Well, I've been using the Alinco microphone, and when I put the monitor on and dummy load, and when I switched, this one sounded a lot bassier. So I took some of the bass off. Anyway, I have shifted it up. I will do one more movement. I've just taken it up ever so slightly again. So just a quick comment on that. I've just increased the bass very slightly again, Ray.
Yeah, well, I liked it when you first came back on that. So not that last transmission, the transmission before, but it's very, it's a very close comparison. And to be totally truthful, if you hadn't mentioned it, I wouldn't have taken greater notice. So either will do me. And as I say, you really have to suit it. But I always remember listening to you when you used to use the Kenwood 870. You had whatever you had then. And you think it was your own little homebrew build. It sounded great. It really did sound natural. Very, very natural. But it sounds fairly natural too. And yeah, I've got a similar rig to you there, Mike, and I know how it works. You have to be very fine with adjustments because certain swings on, frequencies can alter it quite a lot. I'm sure you know. Go ahead.
Yeah, very good. Right, I'll leave it where it is. But it did sound bassier when I put this mic on compared to my Alinco 308 that I've been using just recently. So it just goes to show that different microphones do definitely produce a different, they need adjustment, they need matching to your voice. Anyway, there we are. Anyway, you're sounding brilliant. 20 over just presently. I'm using 80 to 90 watts. My amp is in the outside shack, and I've not been in there for quite some time. So if I'm in the outside shack next time, I will put my amp on because it'll need to be used a little bit. Right, Robbie. So what kind of results have you been getting with your new dipole? Go ahead.
Oh, there's somebody else here. MM0 radio. Just general chit-chat. I'm the idea, so really, Mike. Going back to your audio, that's more like your normal, what I'm used to hearing, Mike. But like Ray says, either setting's fine for me. It's all just minor tweaks, really, but that setting there's fine. I haven't worked on anything exotic. Oh, I did work in American on 10 meters with a vertical thingy I put up. Was that yesterday? A guy in Florida. And he gave me a 5 and 4, was it? And he was on 9, but he was on 750 watts in a beam. So. Anyway, I was pleased with that. I think that's my brother-in-law arrived. I'll have to disappear, I'm afraid. Because I don't want to be accused of slacking. He's generous enough to come out and help me, so I better go and see. So, Ray, I'll leave it to you and Mike, and we'll catch up with you guys later. MM0 radio.
Okay, Robbie, cheers for the chat and all the best in 73.
Yeah, cheers, Robbie. Good to hear you. And say hello to Brenda for me. Cheers now.
Cheers, Mike. Cheers, Ray. Bye now.
So, there we are. Anyway, the desk mic, the Alinco 308, so didn't have the, as soon as I plugged this one in, there was much more bass on board. But I've been adjusting it. Anyway, there we are. I shall leave it where it is. I will resave it. And then I've got it on the USB memory stick. So there you are. But as long as you're getting a sort of, a good bit of, I don't want loads of bass, but a little bit. and it's nicely balanced. As long as it sounds pleasant, that's all I'm concerned about, Ray. Go ahead.
Yeah, fine business. GM0KET returning. Yeah, it does. It does exactly what you said, actually. And I don't want to be super critical because there's no real point unless you're looking for a super critical report. And as you know yourself, like most of us does, we do have the audio connoisseurs on the ear. And some of them run wide. I do it myself sometimes, but nothing too extreme. But I just don't have the expertise to run outboard gear. And personally, just a personal thing, I'm not criticising those who know their stuff, but I don't think you really need it. If you've got a decent enough radio and it sounds all right, people hear you well and clearly, it does what it does, yeah. But of course, I'm not against people who like to experiment, maybe on AM. On the some of the military sets you hear running on certain portions of 80, for example, I have listened to them, like, and some of the systems sound really good, even just the way they are without anything, rack-wise. But it's one of the reasons I went for the bigger Kenwood mic, is you've probably done yourself there, because you've got a whole host of variations in dynamic ranges you can utilise. And pretty much it'll sound good on anything mic-wise you plug into it once you shape it all up and make it all sort of match up, etc. Well, listening to you on 3.6 kilohertz here, and it's more than enough for your bandwidth. It makes you hear everything, doesn't it? Such there's no any filtering, and sometimes I mentioned this the other week. Sometimes if you're running 2.93 or even more, unless people's got the filtering adjusted, or i.e. the front end to match, they won't appreciate what they hear. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah. I've got it set on, it's a smidgen below, what is it, it's 3490. That's the bandwidth. 3490. That's what it's on at the moment. Receive-wise, what am I doing? 3KC. It's on 3,000 on the high cut and 0 on the low cut. So there we are. Well, yeah, you don't need, personally, I'm like you don't need the... Are you getting that woodpecker?
No, negative, unless you've got the... I don't know. This thing got roofing filters? I can't remember, to be completely honest with you. No, I can't. Well, I'm not really looking very carefully at the band scope, but no, I'm not getting anything here. But yeah, you do get that sometimes, do you? I do think of them are emulations. I don't think they're actually over the horizon radars as such. I think they're just on to annoy. That's all I'll say about that. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's like key clicks, very quick key clicks. And it's very wide banded. It's gone. It didn't last long. Now then, that microphone that I was using on my 870, that was a homebrew mic, and it was, to look at it, it just looked like a standard stick mic. But it was the Electret inserts, I bought them from a Burkitt stall in York when he had at the race course, 30 years ago or more. And what I did is I just used a 1K resistor in the positive line and a 4.7 microfarad beat capacitor in the output. And that was the result of what you were hearing. And I followed the instructions off the back of an Electret that I bought at that Australian, it was a Radio Shack from many years ago. Because they used to sell lots of components, and I just followed the the same circuitry as what was on the back of the card if you bought an Electret from Radio Shack. Go ahead.
Roger that, Mike. GM0KT returning. Yeah, of course, that's what you'll do, innit? It's just like any kind of kit you're building, you'll follow the instructions. Of course, you're gaining knowledge all the time. If that's not your real thing, of course, i.e. if you're not a professional constructor, you just follow the instructions. I used to do that as a child with various kit forms and stuff, models, and I used to enjoy that. You know, the air friction revels and whatever you did, and you followed it. You either painted them up prior with the solvent, etc., to follow later, or you just put it all together because you couldn't wait to see it built in a couple of nights, etc. So that was